Hello my friends, please open up the file 8_x-init.html, which is in theory part 2. Let's have a look in the front end what we have here, and we have two tabs which are exactly the same. Alright, I just copied this part here from this part up here. Alright, now what I want to achieve in this lecture is that we have two tabs here, but with different content. But despite from having different content, I want to use the same programming. That means I want to use the same logic that is here in this function dynamic tabs. So the first thing that we are going to do is that we outsource our data into a separate file. So here in our JS folder, which is placed inside of this folder theory part 2, here I will create a new JS file. So we say new file, and let's for example call this catdata.js. All right. Now let's go back to xinit.html and let's cut out this data here with my tabs. Okay. So I cut that out of the function. So now I really separate the logic from the data. So let's go to catdata.js and paste it in here. All right. Now we just have to change a little bit the syntax here. We're going to say let my tabs, and then instead of a colon, we put an equal sign here. All right, and then let's put a semicolon in the end of this. So now we have a variable, all right? Let's save. Let's go to xinit.html to the top, and let's include this JS file. So I just go here under this other script tag where I included alpine.js. I make another script tag here, and I say that the source is JS and then catdata.js, like this. All right, let's check if it still works in the front end. And yes, it's the same. Now we want to have different data here, and for this xinit is just perfect. The command xinit lets us insert data into a specific instance, or you could say into a certain component or representation of a component on our web page. All right, let's go back to catdata.js, and here this my tabs I'm gonna rename to cat1, cat number 1, for example, like this, cat_1. And then let's just copy this and let's create another cat here. And here we're gonna change the image size again. I'm gonna use 200 to 150 here. So we will get a different cat here. I will say super beautiful cat, beautiful cat. And the cat's weight will be 4 kilograms, let's say. Okay. Now, of course, our example doesn't work anymore because we are not accessing those variables cat1. Actually, I forgot to rename this here. The lower one will be cat2, cat_2. But we can fix this very quickly by using init here in our HTML. So let's go here to our first example, tabs 1. Maybe we can rename this comment here to cat1. And here under xcloak, we will insert init, like this. So if you look down here in the template tag, here we are working with my tabs. So all that we have to do now is that we have to tell this section here what my tabs is. And this we can do with init. So here in init we say my tabs should be cat_1, the first data. Now let's copy this init here and let's go to the lower example, which will be cat2. And here again, under xcloak, we paste that in. And this time we say my tabs equals cat_2. All right. Now we inserted different data into each representation of our programming. Let's say like this. Okay. Now let's look in the front end, and it already changed, as you can see. Here is still the old data, that's cat1. And down there we have the new data. But as you can see, there's a little problem here, okay? You saw that, let's reload the page here. You saw that as soon as I clicked something here and I went back, I got the lower cat2. Well, that's a very bad mistake, but it's also very easy to fix. Let's just first find out what happens here. And as you can see here, you have the same internal array with the name of my tabs in both examples. You have my tabs here and you have my tabs down there. So when the page loads, of course, in the beginning, it gets the correct data here, cat1. But then when the second example loads, my tabs, this variable is overwritten with cat2. And that's also valid for this my tabs up here. So as soon as you change something up here, you see the data of cat2. So there's probably many ways to fix this, or different ways to fix this, but I found immediately a very easy solution, and that is that this assignment here I'm gonna refresh as soon as a tab is clicked. So here in the add click event listener, I just add this assignment here, my tabs equals cat1. So I put a semicolon here and just add that here. And then let's go down to the second example. Here in the add click, I also add a semicolon, paste that in, and this time I refresh my data with cat2. Now let's check if everything works correctly now. All right, I have the correct cats. And then when I change the upper cat, it's still the correct cat. The same with the lower cat. So you have to be a little bit careful when you share data in different, or let's say if you share variable names and data in different instances of your components. But there's always a solution for that, all right? I was just thinking that in this case, we also have a shared variable for the active tab, all right? But as you only click at one of the tabs at the same time, so there's no problem that occurs, okay? Just be aware if you share logic in different components what can happen, but be also aware that you usually can fix this. Okay, in the next episode I will give you a little bit of a retrospective for the last 8-9 lectures. Okay, see you there, guys.